According to the school uniforms article, school uniforms have become increasingly popular in the United States. According to the U.S. Department of Education's National Center of Education Statistics, almost 20% of all public schools require students to wear uniforms during the 2017 to 2018 school year. School uniform policies are more common in urban areas, schools with racial and ethnic minority populations more than 50%, and in schools with more than 3/4 of the student population that qualifies for free or reduced price lunches. This could relate to Scott County if uniforms in public schools started to increase. Every student in Scott County receives free breakfast and lunch. This leads me to my first reason why school uniforms should not be mandatory in public schools. School uniforms can be very expensive and not all students can afford to buy them. Next, school uniforms hinder freedom of expression, which is very important. I think all students should be able to express themselves through their clothes. Lastly, with the increase of school uniforms, students have begun to protest according to the school uniforms article. Moreover, the reasons that school uniforms should not be implemented in public schools is that not all students can afford to buy them, it hinders students' freedom of expression, and it can lead to violence such as protests. First, not all students can afford to buy school uniforms. According to the school uniforms article, parents have argued that school uniforms have made school more expensive and hinders their equal education rights. School uniforms often mean that many parents cannot use second-hand or discount stores to buy the students' clothing. In addition, some vendors will fill orders slowly and provide poor customer service while charging high prices. By not requiring school uniforms, many students will be able to get an equal education, and parents will not have to stress about trying to find money to pay for the school uniforms. This relates to Scott County if the schools require school uniforms. Many parents would not be able to buy them or would struggle to buy school uniforms. Secondly, school uniforms hinder freedom of expression. According to Fetzer, the biggest problem with the school uniform policy, is that it promotes anti-individuality. Fetzer says that advice that is often given to students is to make your own friends, form your own opinions, shape your own beliefs, and think your own thoughts. However, school uniforms hinders all these things. In addition, school uniforms do not teach the values of freedom of expression and responsibility. Furthermore, I think all students should be able to express themselves through their clothes. I have this handout that will be under my video. This shows all the things that are required from school uniforms and how it hinders their freedom of expression, such as nail varnish. They can't even paint their nails, and they can't wear the makeup they want to wear. Lastly, school uniforms can lead to violence. According to school uniforms, some students have staged protests against wearing school uniforms. In addition, if the schools did not require uniforms, these protests might not have happened. Proponents for school uniforms have argued that school uniforms have decreased violence because it unites all students because everyone is dressed the same. However, this is not true. Students will notice when other students' uniforms are dirty or they do not have as many uniform options as other students, and this could lead to bullying and could increase violence. School uniforms should not be implemented in public schools because not all students can afford to buy the school uniforms. It hinders their freedom of expression and could increase violence and bullying.